Hey guys, your host Iowa Steeler here today. Obviously pretty excited because we won our playoff game yesterday against the Dolphins. So today we're going to talk about that win. We're going to talk about what I think the Steelers need to do to prepare for the Chiefs or to beat the Chiefs in the next playoff game on Sunday. Also going to talk about my opinion on Joey Porter's arrest that happened following the game. So we'll kind of go into those three different things, and I'll try to make the podcast kind of short, for at least short for my standards. So first thing, what I thought about the win yesterday, awesome. They exceeded my expectations. To be quite honest, I thought that the Steelers would go in there and that it was going to be one of those really hard-fought games. I guess I'm just used to the Steelers playing these nail-biter games, these cardiac arrest type football games where you're all the way up until the final whistle, you're like on the edge of your seat. And I'm just glad for my own health that we finally put an opponent away early on. The game opened up, Antonio Brown with a couple of long touchdowns. One of them was like on a screen. It was like 50 yards right up the left hash, straight into the end zone, touchdown right off the bat. Great way to start the game. And then we followed that up with just a routine pass to Antonio Brown right over the middle of the field, and the Dolphins had poor coverage, and the Dolphins safety took a poor angle on the tackle, so he was nowhere near Antonio Brown, and he just coasted right into the end zone for the second touchdown of the game. So that was really good. Defense, honestly, in my opinion, best performance I've seen from our defense as a whole all year. I mean, for my money, that was the best performance I've seen. That had shades of like our 2008 defense, our 2005 defense. I wouldn't say, as far as the players playing, that they're quite that good individually, but it just looked like one of those games. James Harrison is chasing down Matt Moore, getting that strip sack, in a crucial time. Like, the Dolphins are looking like they're going to at least get a field goal, and instead they get nothing. It was like back in the day, you'd watch it, and it'd be Harrison or Palomalu. Somebody would make that kind of play. So that was just fun to watch. Bud Dupree lights up Matt Moore. That wasn't a dirty hit, by the way, not by any standard. He went in shoulder first. Helmet contact under the chin was incidental. He was not leading with his helmet, as most Dolphins fans would complain. I thought it was a perfectly clean hit. I can understand why the refs threw the flag because his head knocked back and everything, and, that's fine. I didn't have a problem with the flag. I could see where they threw that. What I have a problem with is Dolphins fans complaining, because that's just hilarious. It's okay for Ndamukong Suh to kick a quarterback in the knee and injure him, but you're going to whine and complain when, your quarterback gets blasted when he's running out to the right hash. Like, he's a ball carrier at that point. They don't know if he's going to run with it or if he's going to throw it. So you do that, you run the risk of getting blasted, and Bud Dupree made him pay for it, and it was nice to watch. That was like the stuff that hit was like the stuff wet dreams are made of as far as football goes. So I really enjoyed that. It was just physical. It was a physical game. Guys were going out there hitting people. Sometimes the physicality, particularly Mike Mitchell, how about we don't try to kill Ross Cockrell? There was no point to really even, there was a pass thrown. I don't even remember who the Dolphins receiver was. All I remember was Mike Mitchell just going in there. It was way too late. The guy was already on the ground, and he goes in there and just blasts Ross Cockrell right in the head, and it was just pointless. It's like, really? I thought for sure Ross Cockrell was going to be in concussion protocol after that, but I was happy to see him come back out on the field, because I was like, we cannot afford to be losing a corner like Cockrell or Burns in, the wild card games of the playoffs. Because next week things aren't going to be so easy going into Arrowhead. I can tell you that right now. But all in all, defense looked great. They were physical. Shazier's flying around. Timmons with a pair of sacks back-to-back. That guy's found some fuel. He's still got some gas left in the tank. Honestly, I think the Steelers would do well to try and keep him for another season or two if they can. You're going to have to pay him veteran money, but the guy's he's playing his ass off. He wants to be on this team. And I think he's kind of an unsung hero of the defense. He doesn't get mentioned a lot, but he has played quite well this season. Harrison was getting after people. Bud Dupree was getting after people, getting after the quarterback. It was just a blast to watch the game defensively. Every time the Dolphins would get something going, we'd take the ball away from them. cause a fumble and pick it off. It was just great to watch. It was good old Steelers, hard-nosed defense, taking the ball away and kicking their ass up and down the field. Absolutely enjoyed that. Offense, I thought, played pretty well. Ben needs to quit making boneheaded mistakes at times. The first interception, I would say, was his fault. Wasn't his fault. Brown, he threw it a little high, but Brown shouldn't have tipped it up. And he made it easier on the defenders to pick the ball off, basically. I think if he just lets the throw go there, because it wasn't really catchable, I don't know that the defender behind him has a chance at it. It probably goes to the ground, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch it again to see. But I didn't feel like that one was so much Ben's fault. The second one, well, he almost threw a second one to a defensive lineman that dropped back into coverage. Number 90, whoever that was, dropped back into coverage, and Ben threw it right to him, and the guy just didn't catch the ball and tipped it up, and Jesse James caught it. It was just kind of like one of those situations where everything seems to be going your way. But when you're playing a higher quality opponent, things aren't always going to go your way, so you can't be making a stupid mistake like that. You gotta see the 300-pound defensive lineman standing there, like, come on, man. And the third the second actual interception, that was Ben's fault. He's trying to do too much. It was third down. We had a huge lead. There was no point, none whatsoever, of trying to force the issue there by passing the ball. That was stupid. That was stupid on the coach's behalf, on Tomlin and Haley, whoever made that call and decided to throw it on third down in that situation. Stupid. Hand the ball off to Le'Veon Bell. If you don't get the first down, you punt the damn ball, pin the Dolphins deep as you can. Maybe even kick it out of bounds somewhere so they can't get a return on it, because special teams played terrible. But there was just no point to that. It was silly. It was stupid. It was just being greedy, and we can't be doing that in the playoffs. We cannot afford to get Ben hurt. He almost got sacked by Cameron Wake on the play, and that's the play in question where his ankle got twisted up a little bit, and he was in a walking boot after the game, which was simply precautionary for swelling, is my understanding. But it was avoidable. It was avoidable by the coaching staff. They should know better. I don't think Ben should have been in the game at that point. I don't think Bell should have been in the game at that point. We have D'Angelo Williams. We have Landry Jones, who's shown that he can play in spurts. Just put those guys in and let them finish the game out. Let's not get our starters hurt. You're not going to get that luxury in a playoff game very often, so you need to take advantage of that. That was just bad decisions all around by the coaching staff, by Ben. Keep the play a running play there. I don't care what the coaches say. That needs to be a running play there. There's no reason for somebody to get hurt there. You're just getting somebody hurt for no reason. And we're lucky it was nothing. It could have been much worse. You want to come out of that first wild card game with no injuries, because the divisional rounds are going to be tougher, and the conference championship, if we manage to make it to that point, is going to be even tougher. We can't have guys wounded going into those games. So, all in all, though, great game all around. Really excited. It was a blast to watch. Had my family over. My dad's a Dolphins fan. My brother didn't show up, big surprise. He's also a Dolphins fan. I don't know if he had something going on or if he was just mad after Antonio Brown scored that first touchdown. But it was fun watching the game. It was fun having a debate over the Bud Dupree hit and that kind of thing. But all in all, fun game to watch. I really enjoyed it. It's nice to see us dominate and win instead of having one of these heart attack type games. So we'll talk about what I think we need to do to beat the Chiefs. We need to do what we did when we faced them. I think it was week 3, week 4, somewhere in there. We beat them 43-14. It was a great game. We're not going to have the benefit of a healthy Sammy Coates like we did then. So receivers are going to have to step up. We need to be able to get Antonio Brown open. Antonio Brown has shown he can beat those corners. He could beat that defense. This isn't going to be the same Chiefs team. This is going to be a lot like us. This game, I think, is going to mirror the Dolphins game. Earlier in the season, week 6, we got beat by the Dolphins 30-15. We turned around, we beat them 30-12 in a playoff game. They had injuries. We got an easy matchup, probably as easy as we could hope for. The Chiefs, but we wanted revenge in that game too, so that has to be counted as a factor in that as well. The Steelers weren't going to take that game laying on their back. They went after Jay Ajayi. He had 200 yards rushing in the first game. They went after his ass. I think he had like 30 yards or something total. I mean, that's just an insane turnaround from what he did to us earlier in the season. But it's going to be the same story for the Chiefs with us. These guys are going to want revenge. And I think Le'Veon Bell even mentioned it. These guys are going to want revenge because they got their butts kicked. They got smacked in the mouth by us earlier this season. And that was at Heinz Field. This time, we're not going to have that benefit. We're not going to have the benefit of playing at home at Heinz. It's going to be an Arrowhead. Cold weather, I don't think will be a factor. The Steelers play in cold weather, they're used to it. But Arrowhead is a loud, raucous place to play in. I've been to Arrowhead. I've watched the Steelers play in Arrowhead. It was a win. And even against, this was 2011 when I went, even against a Chiefs team quarterbacked by Tyler Palko, let that settle in, Tyler freaking Palko, we barely won the game. It was like 19-13. That game was like watching paint dry because the Chiefs defense has pride. They have guys like Tom Bahali, Derek Johnson, Justin Houston. They're a good team. They're a prideful team, and I'd say that defense is even better now than it was then. They have Dontari Poe, Marcus Peters. They got playmakers in every part of the defense. They got guys that can rush your quarterback. They got corners that can cover your receivers. And they're a physical, hard-nosed football team, and they feed off that crowd. Arrowhead is a tough place. It is a tough place. It's loud. Even when the team isn't good, their fans still show up. And I know it because I was there. It was still a Steelers home game because the Chiefs only won like 4 games that season. But there was still quite a few Chiefs fans there supporting that team despite the fact that they had only won 4 games and the game was pretty much meaningless to them. But they still showed up and supported their team. Chiefs fans take their football seriously. It's going to be loud. It's going to be hostile. The Steelers are going to have to temper that. They're going to have to, they can't let the crowd noise get to them. They're going to have to come out, be aggressive early, I think. Keep trying to hit the Chiefs deep, because the Chiefs are going to stack the box. They've been watching the game tape. Le'Veon Bell's been burning everybody up for the past, I don't even know how many weeks, 6 or 7 weeks. I guarantee they see that, and their first, the thing that they're going to want to do when they come out is stop Le'Veon Bell. That's going to be the game plan. So we need to beat them deep. We need to hit Antonio Brown deep, DeMarcus Ayers if he plays, whoever's in there, Kobe Hamilton, somebody. We need to throw the ball deep. We need to back off that defensive secondary. We can't let them come up, crowd the box, and then try to run Le'Veon Bell right into that mess because that'll be playing right into their game plan. We need to use the passing game to open up the running game. I think that's how you beat the Chiefs. You take what the Chiefs defense gives you. If we have to throw the little 5-yard underneath passes, we'll play the Chiefs game. We'll do the Chiefs offensive game plan against them. Perfectly happy to do that. We don't always need to go deep. I would like to see them come out and throw 1 or 2 deep early on to see like what we can do. If we're, kind of like in the first game, maybe because you hit 1 deep and then that secondary has to back off. That has a psychological effect, I think. So that's going to be the keys to the game for me. And we can't let Alex Smith just stand back in the pocket with enough time to make a sandwich either. Going to have to pressure him, going to have him running around, and we're going to have to be sound in all of our assignments. The Chiefs' running game isn't the greatest. They don't have Jamal Charles, but they have a decent running game. You have to respect that they're going to try and run the ball because they're the Chiefs. That's what they do. They run the ball. They throw those little short passes. They don't really take a whole lot of shots down the field. They're perfectly happy. They're like a Patriots offense. They're perfectly happy taking a 5-yard pass and trying to get those yards after the catch. Wrap up, tackle at the point of the catch. Don't let them get yards after the catch. Pressure Alex Smith. Stop the running game. Be disciplined in your gap assignments. And just shut down the Chiefs' running game. If we can do that stuff, we can beat the Chiefs. I don't think this game is going to be a blowout like it was before. If it turns out to be we blow them out, that would be fantastic. I'd absolutely love that. But that's not going to happen. If you think that's going to happen, you're out of your mind. The Chiefs usually play the Steelers really tough. Historically, that's a team that plays the Steelers tough. I've watched these 2 teams play over the years. It's usually like every once in a while you have a blowout one side or the other, but most of the time these are heart-wrenching, edge-of-your-seat, cardiac arrest type of football games. It comes down to the wire. So we're not going to just go in there and just put a whooping on them and beat them 43-14 in their own house. It's just not going to happen. If it did, great. I don't think that's going to happen. But the last thing I wanted to talk about, Joey Porter getting arrested over the weekend. Apparently was going into a bar, bartend. My understanding, and this could be wrong, was that the doorman told him, no, you're too intoxicated, you're not coming in. He got an attitude with him, became unruly. He ended up getting charged. I didn't see the list of charges. I know there's like 5 of them, and he posted a $25,000 bond. The fact they hit him with like 5 charges is kind of surprising in and of itself. A lot of people are wanting to immediately jump on the police about it. Oh, you know, this is in Pittsburgh, people. Like, the police in Pittsburgh are Pittsburgh fans, most of them. Like, they're not going to go out and bust a Steelers player because they want to bust a Steelers player. Like, come on. Or not a Steelers player in this case, but a coach. You know, they want to see their team have success too. And I guarantee the last thing they want to do is arrest Joey Porter. You know, Joey Porter is a loved player in Pittsburgh. He played there for a long time. But I'm, my opinion, very disappointed. This is foolishness that didn't need to happen. It's stupid. It's completely thoughtless, careless. Shouldn't have ever happened. I get you're excited. You won a wild card game. But you are a coach. You know, Peasy, you are a coach. You need to set an example for the players. When you go out and get yourself arrested, you're not setting a good example at all. I mean, you are the person that they look up to. I mean, you're a leader by your job title. You're a coach. You can't go out and get arrested for something that stupid. And no, not all the details are out. Who knows? Maybe this is something that was overblown or what. I don't know. But to me, I'm just disappointed. He shouldn't have. Why are you even going out to a bar after the game? Why? I mean, that's something fans do. You shouldn't. Players and coaches just need to stay away from bars and stuff like that. I mean, it's nothing good ever seems to come of that. Like, just stay away from bars. Stay away from the eccentric celebrations and stuff like that. It just opens the door for problems and distractions and things like this. It was stupid. It should have never happened. I'm very disappointed with Joey Porter. I expect more from a Steelers coach, and I expect more from an adult man that knows. I mean, this isn't a young kid playing the game. Whenever Porter was drafted, 1990 or whatever. This is a guy that's been in the league for 20 years. He's had some legal trouble in the past, so he knew better. Period. End of story. He knew better, and it shouldn't have happened. And he owes the fans, he owes the team, everybody an apology, because this was a stupid, unnecessary distraction that should have never happened, especially at this time of the year. Beginning of the year, whatever, an apology, fine. I think everybody would just blow it off and let it blow over. But when you do this in the playoffs, that's really, really stupid. I mean, you don't want to be causing your team a distraction, especially when next week we're going to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs, the number 2 seed in the AFC. Silly, stupid, unnecessary distraction. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. I actually went just as long as I normally would, so I try to shorten these up sometimes, and it just doesn't work out for me, so I just kind of wing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the podcast. If you did enjoy listening to the podcast, get on the Steelers Xtreme page. Let me know what else you'd like to hear me talk about. I'll try to do a video. I'm pretty busy. I work nights and things like that, so sometimes it's hard to get the time to sit down and put together one of these podcasts and edit them and everything else that goes along with it. So I'll try to accommodate requests if I can remember. I like that kind of interaction with people. Gives me the motivation to keep doing this kind of thing. I enjoy it. If you're watching this on YouTube, give me a like, give me a subscribe, if you're so inclined. But, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this today. Join in on the discussion on the forums. It's playoff time. We got some good discussions going on. A lot of regular members are pretty active on there right now. Hop on the forum, SteelersXtreme.com without the E in it, so just SteelersXtreme.com. Hop on there. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Have a great day.